بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله صلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. وبعد إن شاء الله نكمل منظومة القواعد الفقهية الشيخ السعدي عليه رحمة الله تعالى رحمة واسعة. We stopped with line number 31 where the Shaykh said ومتلف مؤذيه ليس يضمن بعد الدفاع بالتي هي أحسن. This قاعدة or this fundamental في مسألة لا ضمان على دفع الصائل. When you're defending yourself or you're trying to protect yourself from a harm and then you cause harm, then there is no ضمان. Okay. Which line is it? 31. Okay, hold on a second. It is 31. No, it is 31. كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من قتل دون ماله فهو شهيد ومن قتل دون عرضه فهو شهيد. If you're trying to protect yourself or you're trying to defend yourself, okay, then there's no indemnity upon you. You don't guarantee. So the only time that you do that, he said, قال بعد الدفاع بالتي هي أحسن. You have to understand the difference. If you are able to block something or to prevent some harm from coming to you without causing major harm, then you should go for the least harm. يعني مثلا, if somebody has a cat and the cat is trying to attack you, you're not gonna kill the cat. You could just push it with your hand. فيدفع بالتي هي أحسن بالأقل. لكن لو دفع بالأعلى يضمن. If he's able to prevent that harm, okay, by doing the least harm, but he takes the max, then there is ضمان. Okay. So, and the example, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam يقول, if a person looks into your house from a window, مثلا, then what happened? What do you do? You're in your house, you and your wife and your kids, and somebody puts his head into the window to look into your house. What do? You book his eye. لكن لو واحد أخذ السلاح وضربه بالنار هذا يضمن. ليه؟ لأنه استطاع أن يدفع هذا الإيه بالأدنى واختار الإيه الأعلى يضمن. Okay, so you go with the least first. And طبعا the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said that if you book his eye, then there is nothing upon you. طبعا هذه الموبايل nowadays it could be the same. أنت قاعد في somewhere صحيح نفس الحكم. You're sitting somewhere مثلا and you have your phone with you ويجي واحد ما شاء الله his head is in your phone. تمام؟ فهذا ندفعه بالأقل وليس بالإيه؟ بالأعلى. يعني we try to prevent their harm or push their harm away with the least amount. لكن طب لو إنسان جاع ما شاء الله, if somebody is hungry and they hunt something and they eat it and it's someone else, should they pay for it? لا يضمن. كيف it's okay? يضمن يعني you have to pay for it. It's okay to do it because you are in necessity, you are hungry and you are in need of it. لكن الضمان موجود, you have to compensate for it. لكن لا يأثم. هو الفكرة لا يأثم. تمام؟ لكن يضمن. الضمان غير الإيه الإثم. طيب. قال وأل تفيد النهي في العموم وأل تفيد الكل في العموم في الجمع والإفراد كالعليم والنكرات في سياق النفي تعطي العموم أو سياق النهي. This one we're going to skip because it has to do with the Arabic language. He said وأل تفيد الإيه الكل في العموم. Okay. في الجمع والإفراد كالعليم. The definite ألف لام, which is the in English. Okay. So he said here the alif and the lam before a word indicates that the ruling is general. Okay, generality of the ruling, meaning that it includes everything under it. For a definite, a plural, a singular word like al-alim, okay, the knowledgeable. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the knowledgeable. The knowledgeable of what? Huh? Everything. Okay? لأنه عرفت. Okay? في الإيه؟ قال والنكرات في سياق النفي. Now this is another sweet ruling of Arabic for people who understand Arabic. And the indefinite in context of negation or context of prohibition indicates generality either. يعني ايه negation? Negation لا إله إلا الله. لا means what? Negation, yeah? Ilah is no. What do you mean exception? Ilah is what? Is it definite or indefinite? Indefinite. Ilah, yeah? La ilah. So it means what? No God, meaning none. So any negation, okay? Any negation in an indefinite statement like La ilaha illallah, لا يقبل الله صلاة من غير طهور. Allah does not accept a prayer without purification. This includes what? Every prayer. And the things that takes the ruling of prayers. Like what? ما الذي أخذ حكم الصلاة وليس صلاة؟ ها؟ لا. طواف. And there's different opinion on the tahara when you start with it. Like this is what it means. When there is لا يقبل, Allah does not accept a prayer. Means what? Any prayer. So tawaf is included. Sujood al-tilawa, recitation of the Quran, the sajda of recitation, because that's part of salah. هذا معنى الايه؟ معنى النكرات في سياق الايه؟ النفي. أو تعطى العموم أو سياق النهي. Or if there is a prohibition, the prohibition. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لا تقتلوا الصيد وأنتم حر. ولا تقتلوا الصيد وأنتم حر. Do not hunt when you are in the state of ihram. You don't kill the hunted animal in the state of ihram. That includes what? Any, except the exception, which is fishing. خلاص؟ أن الله سبحانه وتعالى يقول أحل لكم صيد البحر وطعام متاع لكم والسيارة وحرم عليكم صيد البر ما دمتم حرا. So when there is negation or there is prohibition, no, then it means what? It's general. It includes everything, everything under it. تمام كده؟ طيب. قال الله عز وجل لن تنالوا البر حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون. لن تنالوا البر حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون. So that includes everything that you spend. It has to be what? You spend it with generosity and goodness for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept it. So that's also general. قال ولا يتم الحكم حتى تجتمع كل الشروط والموانع ترتفع. We studied this before in Usul al-Fiqh, so I'm going to pass through it quickly, inshallah. He said that the ruling does not exist, meaning the action is incorrect, without the اجتماع الشروط وانتفاء الموانع. You have to have some conditions, and you have to have the removal of prevention. Okay, so the conditions for anybody know what a condition is for ibadah? الشرط هو ما يلزم من عدمه الايه؟ العدم ولا يلزم من وجوده وجود ولا عدم. I know. هو ما يلزم من عدمه العدم. If the condition means if it's not there يلزم من وجوده الايش؟ ها؟ ما يلزم من عدمه العدم. If it's not there, then the action does not exist. Meaning what? طهارة مثلا, wudu is a condition of salah, yes or no? We say, how do we know it's a condition? Because if it's not present, then the action is invalid. ولا يلزم من وجوده وجود ولا عدم. And it doesn't mean because it exists, the action is correct or incorrect. لا. Or even the action is present or not present. مثلا, somebody has wudu. Does that mean that his salah is correct? No, because he could have wudu, but he does something else to make his salah what? invalid. So this is a condition. خلاص؟ ما هو المانع? What is the prevention? قالوا ما يلزم من وجوده العدم. If it's present, then the action cannot exist. Like what? Sisters, easy one. Huh? Haid, menstruation. Menstruation is a prevention of salah. Correct or incorrect? Because if it's present, then the action cannot exist. طيب, can a sister who's not during her menstruation, first, does she have to pray? Well, we have to have other conditions, okay? But is her salah valid or invalid? If she's free of menstruation, it doesn't mean her salah is invalid or invalid. She could have done something else that is wrong. لكن العدم هذا المانع, a prevention, it's something that if it's there, you cannot do the action. It prevents you from doing the عبادات. لذلك يسموها المفسدات في الطهارة النواقض وفي الغسل الموجبات والصلاة المبطلات والصيام المفترض والحج. There's so many things that if it does exist, then it prevents you from the action. So this is what the condition and prevention mean. So for an action to be correct, takes the ruling of correction, you have to combine two things. You have to have the conditions fulfilled. طيب, what are the conditions of salah? Yalla, bismillah, quickly. Huh? Facing the qibla? Entering of the time? Intention? Is intention a condition or a pillar? A condition comes before the action, okay, to make it easy, and continues on with you. يعني طهارة, condition of salah, and you continue to you have to have tahara till the end of the salah. So you make sure that all the conditions are met. Ramadan, what is the condition of fasting? The entering of the month of Ramadan, which is by what? Sighting the moon, or completion of 30 days of Sha'ban. This is called what? Conditions. Tamam. What could prevent you from fasting Ramadan? Sickness that you can't fast, هذا يسمى مانع. Or travel is a prevention or a permission. رخصة. Okay, you have to differentiate between both two. We spoke about this before, just a reminder. What are the condition of inheritance? Well, it's easy, wallah, easy. I know inheritance sounds like, wow, this is a big thing. 3 things for inheritance. Condition, shurut, being Muslim. So what do we call that? What are the conditions, shurut? Nikah, marriage. Al-wala wal-nasab. Wala is, طبعا we don't have it now, a freed slave by his owner or his master. His wala, his inheritance goes back to his owner. If he doesn't have any direct, of course, lineage or like from his asaba parents or children and so on and so forth, there's ruling into that. Okay, like these are conditions that if it do exist, what prevent inheritance? We spoke about that. Al-qatl مثلا. Killing. We said if a person kills someone that he inherits from, what happened? He's prevented from inheritance. Why? أيوة, he hastened. That's another one that we took. من استعجل شيئا قبل أوانه عوقب بإيش؟ بحرمانه. Okay, because he hastened to gain something before its time, and he is prevented from it. طيب, what other prevention from inheritance? What you said, huh? What is it? أيوة, الطلاق. لكن هذا لا حكم عشان موضوع العدة وغير العدة في خلاف. لكن different religion is a prevention. If a person is a Muslim and his father is a non-Muslim, he cannot inherit his father and his father cannot inherit from him. اختلاف الدين, they don't inherit. Okay, different of religion, they don't inherit. وهذه برضو لها أحكام. طبعا We live in a non-Muslim country that has a lot of complication. تمام؟ قال ومن أتى بما عليه من عمل قد استحق ماله على العمل. This one is easy. He said, okay, he said, وَمَنْ أَتَى, and whoever fulfills what is upon him of action, then he deserves what is due from the action. What does that mean? It's just saying that if a person accomplished the work, مَنْ أَتَى بِعَمَلٍ, either a work action that is connected to Allah, or no. Afterward, inshallah. Just write it so you don't forget. وَمَنْ أَتَى, whoever accomplish an action. Whoever here means what? Mukallaf. We already spoke about the mukallaf. Someone who is mukallaf, he has to be what? Muslim, baligh, aqil, mumayyiz, sane. خلاص? هذا mukallaf. So if he fulfills the action, he gets the rewarded of that action from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you only get the reward of the action when you're done with it. يعني if you say Salatul Dhuhr time, it's 2 o'clock now, alhamdulillah, I'm rewarded for Dhuhr. No, you're rewarded for Dhuhr when you do Dhuhr. خلاص? When you fast, you're rewarded for your fast. So he's saying here, the Shaykh says, and whoever fulfills what is upon him from the action, then he deserves the reward. And you get the reward of the actions even if you don't do it, if you have an excuse. يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كما في حديث أبي موسى الأشعري رضي الله عنه رضاه he said رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم said إذا مرض العبد أو سافر, if a person travels or gets sick, he is rewarded for the actions that he used to do when he was healthy and resident. So that's why we should do what? Accomplish more good actions when we're healthy and resident. So if you're traveling مثلا and you shorten Salat al-Dhuhr 2 rak'ah, no sunnah of Dhuhr now when you travel, do you get the reward of the sunnah of Dhuhr? Yes, if it was your actions before, you get the reward. Somebody مثلا, they used to pray 2 rak'ah or witr before they sleep every night. One night they came from work very sick, fell asleep, they woke up the second day. This person will get the reward of witr? Yes or no? Yes, because he was doing it when he was healthy. And that's why you should add on to your good actions when you're healthy and resident, that if you need an excuse, you also get the reward. هذا وما أتى من العمل. طبعا this is one part. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you reward for your actions if you fulfill it. Even if you prevent actions, you're getting reward for not doing it if you have the intention. Yeah, مثلا, how many of us here might get reward of not drinking alcohol? None. Why? Because we never had the desire. We were never offered alcohol, and we said no. So when do we get the reward of not drinking? When someone offers you, and then you say, "A'udhu billah," no. You see the difference? So we're not going to get rewarded for not drinking, not committing zina, not stealing. We're not going to get reward for not doing these actions because we have not done it, because we were never desired for it. So the time you get a reward for actions that you're not supposed to do is when you are in position of doing and you say no. Understand that? Yeah? So this is what the line in brief says. طيب. قال ويفعل البعض من المأمور إن شق فعل سائر المأمور. This one is a little very, very important for us, especially اللي هم بيسموه ايه الميسور لا يسقط بالمعسور. Look, some of the obligation is to be done if there's a hardship in doing it all. So some of it only has to be done. So the things that you're capable of doing, you have to do, and the things that you're not able to, you don't have to do if the action could be divided. مثلا, I'll give you easy one. And which hardship brings ease? Somebody who cannot make sujood. Listen to the question. Someone who cannot make sujood because he made an eye surgery. This person should pray sitting down. Correct or incorrect? Read the line. Line 38 says what? ما لا يدرك كل. Remember, if you cannot do the action, do what you can from it. If it's an obligation. Now, this person could do what? They could stand up. They could do ruku'. Okay? So, and they could sit down and then just put their head down for sujood. And now, if this person, he sit down on a chair for qiyam, ruku' and sujood, his salah is invalid. Why? Because he's able to accomplish some from the all, the obligation. الميسور لا يسقط بالمعسور. مثلا, somebody who has a cast on, when they make wudu, what should they do? They have a cast on the left hand. Huh? They make wudu, and when they come to the left hand, what do? They wipe over. Like if somebody says, يا أخي والله I have a cast on, let me wipe over my other parts. نقول له إيش؟ لا, لأنه يفعل بالبعض من المأمور. You're able to do some of what is obligated upon you, so you should do what is obligated. If the action is what? Divided. طيب. Someone has to take medication at 4 p.m. on the day of Ramadan. Can they fast all the way to 4 and then take the medication at 4? Why not? Isn't it the same as wudu? Aywa. Fasting, you cannot divide it. You cannot say, I will fast half the day and not the other half. So what I'm capable of fasting, I will do. The whole day is what? It's like one package, one set. So you cannot do that. Okay, you cannot start. Okay, so you cannot start on. Is that clear now? So what you cannot do the most. And مثلا, if somebody cannot stand in salah, but they could do ruku' and sujood, should they do ruku' and sujood sitting down? Stand only. Like if he does ruku' no problem. If he does sujood, no problem. We'll tell him, you sit down during what? Standing. You sit down. But when it comes to ruku', you should do what? Do ruku'. And when it comes to sujood, you should do sujood. Okay? The fuqaha differ on another thing. I don't want to go into that detail now, but Imam Al-Ala'i rahimahullah ta'ala mentioned in the Qawa'id, he mentioned a lot of those examples. MashaAllah, he's one of our great scholars in Usul Al-Fiqh. If you haven't read his book, his name Al-Ala'i. He has a book called Al-Qawa'id, and he mentioned all these excuses to know which hukm, which ruling could be divided or not, because we're going to be confused. And مثلا, I'll give you an example. In sujood, what you make sujood on what? That's an easy question. Oh, come on. Today is the last day. I'm going to give you a certificate for nothing. We need answer easy question. We make sujood on what? No. We make sujood on 7 parts. Yeah? What are the 7 parts? People are saying weird things right now. Some people doing on their stomach now and the back. What's going? Okay. Can someone give me a good answer? Just easy answer? Because I see people doing on their brothers. You're not supposed to do on your full arm. You're not supposed to put your full arm on the ground. That's like Rasulullah said, we're not supposed to pray like dogs. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قال وكلبهم باسط ذراعيه بالوسيط. حتى in the Hanafi madhab, it is not upon the entire arm that the elbow's touching and the entire arm, except for women that they close up their arm a little bit, but not to a point that they are resting their entire arm on the ground in sujood. For brothers, they should leave a gap. That's a sunnah. They should leave a gap. The hadith of Uthman and others. Anyway, so you make sujood on what? Your forehead and nose. Okay, 1. Hands, 2, 3. Knees, 4, 5. And then your toes, 6, 7. صحيح? 7 parts. طبعا a lot of people, mashallah, when they make sujood, their feet is going up. Some people, the kids are like over each other. You're missing something. So the fuqaha says, okay, what is it? Which part of all these 7 is the major, most important part, and the rest follows? Forehead. So if you cannot put your forehead on the ground, but you're able to put the others, now they differ on that. Should you put the rest, like to go down on your knees and toes and hands, and not the forehead? Or if you put the forehead, you see, they even go, that's why I said, looking into the detail of what could be divided is important. Because what could be divided, again, what could be divided is what? We do what we're capable of, and what we are not capable of, we just leave it, or we take the rukhsa on doing that. Allah. طيب, let's move on inshallah. يقول وكل ما نشا عن المأذون فذاك أمر ليس بالمضمون. Okay. Permission removes. Okay. Now this is in a contract. Okay. Anything that you give permission, and whatever you give permission to or are permitted to do, then such act, there is no liability on it. Okay, I'll give you a sweet example to make it easy. You invite people to your house. You assume that this person doesn't eat much. You offer him 1 plate of food, 3 plates, mashallah. And you, in your mind, you know that at the end he's only going to eat 1, and the other 2 you're going to take back because you're hungry to your kids. You go inside, you come, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, he was a little hungry, he ate all 3. Liabilities on him or no? Why not? The guy destroyed your food. He actually ate it all, mashallah. You know, Imam Al-Amash, they did that to him, and that's why he didn't go out for 3 days to give hadith. And his students were joking with him, thinking that he's okay to joke, but he was so tough. So he was blind. He would come to the room, and he brought them like bread. So he put the bread on a plate, and he goes back inside to bring the meat. By the time he comes, they give him the plate empty. So the guy, okay, they ate the bread. So he put the meat and take the empty plate. He goes inside to get the salad. He comes, they already finished the meat. Okay, he took the other hand. He come back with the salad. They come, something else. They already finished. So after they finished, he said, "Wallahi, subhanallah, you ate so much. The only thing left inside is my animal's meat. Do you want to eat it too? Like the food for my goats and sheep. Do you want to eat it too?" You don't do that, يعني. لكن يقول هنا وكلما نشأ عن المأذون. Now you're giving permission. When you invite someone and you give him food, it is like giving him permission to do what? To eat. So if he ate it all, خلاص. Okay? Do you understand that? So there is no liability in that case. Understand that? That's a sweet. يعني مثلا if they say another example, مثلا if someone made a well of water in a place where he's giving permission from the city to make a well of water for people to drink from and people to shower, to take water, like in areas like Africa and those places, they live on those well of water. That's their life, their survival. And now he has a permit to have a well of water in that area. And someone walked and he said, "Oh, I didn't see it, I fell in it." No liability upon the owner, because that place is what? He was giving permission to have the place there, unless we have rulings on that. So do you understand the point? So if something is giving permission, there is a permit to do something, then there is no liability if you do it, or if the person does it, or overdoes it, of course. قال وكل حكم دائر مع علته وهي التي قد أوجبت لشرعته. طيب. Now this ruling says every ruling has its effective reason to be forbidden or allowed, which determine its ruling. Okay, and مثلا, every ruling, if the ruling is known, there is a reason for it. Why alcohol is haram? Intoxicate. Okay, So if someone made alcohol, there is no intoxication. Grape juice, yeah? You could turn it to what? Alcohol, wine. How? Intoxication, yeah? If the grape juice doesn't intoxicate, then, so the rule here, he says the ruling is rotates around its illah. If the illah exists, if the defect is there, if the reasoning is there, then the ruling is there. If the reasoning is removed, then the ruling is removed. So if there is no intoxication, then there is no haram. Okay, it is not forbidden. Understand that? So knowing the illah, if something is built upon the illah, مثلا shortening the salah when you travel because of what? قصر الصلاة في السفر بسبب, because of traveling or because of hardship? Which one? Hardship? Hardship? Traveling itself. العلة السفر. The reasoning is the travel itself. Why? Because if somebody works on the 100th floor and they carry construction and they carry things on their back all the way up and down, they don't shorten the salah. There's more hardship than him riding a car to LA today. So this person is not giving permission. So we know the reasoning here is what? The traveling itself. So understanding that the reasoning behind shortening the salah is not hardship makes it easy for us today to apply. Because somebody will say, hold on, going to LA today will take you 45 minutes, correct? If you take a plane. So if the reason of shortening the salah or breaking your fast is the hardship, then there is no more hardship. So there is no more shortening, there is no more breaking fast. That's not true. Because it's not about hardship, it's about the what? The illah itself is the traveling, okay? And I don't want to go into that one, but anyway, let's move on. Women traveling without a mahram. Okay, let me just, you want to take a different opinion, go ahead, but I just want to give you fiqh. That's not my opinion, and don't ask me what your opinion on that matter, because I'm not a faqih, okay? I'm just going to tell you the illah that some fuqaha spoke just to understand. The Prophet ﷺ said, the ulama says, a woman is not permissible. It's not permissible for her to travel a day and a night. Yawmun wa layla, that's about 36 hours, okay? Complete 36 hours on, some said on foot. The traveling 36 hours without a mahram. The ulama says, she's not allowed to travel without a mahram because of the travel itself or because of a reason? You see now where the ruling is. So the ones who say because of a reason, I'm going to go with those ones because I want to explain to you. So they will say, what is the reason that she's not allowed to travel without a mahram? Safety. So they will say, if safety exists, if we could guarantee some safety to this woman who's going to be traveling, okay, can she travel now without a mahram? Well, they will say, well, the reasoning that traveling without a mahram is safety, it's no longer there. There is safety. So therefore, she is allowed to do what? To travel. You see where so knowing the illah, now even the illah differ. Because some people say this is not the illah. So what's the illah? A different reason. So the ones who says, no, we know that the illah, why they say that? Also actually, okay, who cares my opinion is, but when a woman travels today, there's more safety than before for sure. Rasulullah ﷺ said, there will come a time, listen to this, there will come a time where a woman will travel by herself from Baghdad to من البصرة الكوفة أو بغداد الكوفة, one of the cities, which is about 2 days, 2 nights traveling, or 3 nights or so, even more. He said, feeling safe upon her, yani herself, and what she has with her, sheep and goats and so on. If it was haram for her to travel, she traveled more than a day and a night. And Rasulullah he's praising what? The time that there is a time that will come where women will feel safe to travel. The Prophet could have said what at the end? But she shouldn't travel, even though it's a good thing that safety will be there. He's talking, someone will say, no, he was only talking about safety, meaning there will come a time where there will be safety and Islam will spread that as an example of women. Yeah, but he could have said, but you shouldn't do it. No, he didn't say that. So he praised the incident. So we knew from this hadith also that what? If safety were to exist, then a woman, like now, a woman taking a flight from here to LA, مثلا, or to LA, let's go longer, مثلا, to Egypt, مثلا, or somewhere. تمام? More than a day and a night. خلاص? Well, sometime now the flight. You know which airline she's flying with. She has over 400 people in the same plane. You know exactly her transit time, where she's going to be. You know where she's going. I mean, the safety here exists or no? Clearly, there is no doubt. So the ones who says the reasoning for not traveling alone is safety, mainly, they will say what? If safety is present, then the illah is no longer there, she could travel. Wallahu a'lam. Don't ask me about the condition. Huh? السفر. لا تقعد لوحدها، دي بقى قصة ثانية، لكن تقعد لوحدها مش تحريم يعني. قال وكل شرط لازم للعاقد في البيع والنكاح والمقاصد إلا شروطا حللت حراما أو عكسه فباطلات فعلا. He said all the conditions, okay, كل شرط, every condition in a contract, especially transactions, sales, marriage, or others intended, okay, any of these conditions must be fulfilled. كل الشروط must be fulfilled as long as the condition does not allow something that is haram to be halal or something that is halal to be haram. Yeah, مثلا, somebody says, I will sell you my car, but do not. Okay, let's see. No, هبة خلاص. She's don't raise her. I'll say, okay, who else is here? I can't get any Khalid. I will sell you my car, but with the condition that Hiba shouldn't ride with you. Now, is that condition accepted or no? No, because she has full ownership to the car. She could have whoever she wants in her car. So if I'm making that condition upon her, that condition is invalid because of what? It is not my. Why would I make a condition like that upon her? The conditions that you make should not contradict, and should not allow things that are haram or halal to be halal or haram, or restrict things that are not permissible. Let her. مثلا, I'll sell you my car with one condition: you don't rent it to anybody. So in the uqud, in the contracts, you have to make sure that the conditions first. If the condition is agreed upon, that's a different story. Your wife says you go ask for her hand. No. Go ahead. That's a big problem. Yeah, that would be an issue. Then we have to bring a third party to judge. Seriously. If someone said, no, it's not safe to travel from here to LA, and somebody else said, no, it is safe, we need somebody else to tell us if it's safe or not. Traveling to Chicago by yourself, not safe. I am all gangsters there, inshallah. Allah. If somebody claims that, you tell him, of course, you need to bring a proof that this is not safe. Huh? البين على المبدأ صحيح. So the condition here has to be a condition that you make. One person makes, the other person doesn't have to accept. If it's a condition that is not required by the deen, it doesn't make anything, the halal or the haram halal. You say, I don't agree to that condition. It's my car now. I could do whatever I want with it. Okay, you understand that? But if we agree on the condition, he tells her father, مثلا, I want to marry your daughter. He says, how about you pay her every month? You'll give her every month $100. And he says yes. All the guys will say yes at the beginning. Let me tell you now. For sisters, wallahi, I'm telling you, I'm advising you. Brothers, when they get married, they will say yes to everything in the contract. Hatta al-haram, they will say, they just want to get married. They don't care. Wallahi al-azim. I'm like, you do this, of course. Love flirting at the beginning. After 1 month, that's it. They go back like, I didn't agree to any of them. He can't. She already put a condition in the contract that he cannot marry a second wife, and he agrees. Any guy you go, when he gets married and his future wife, she tells him, put in a contract that you're not going to marry a second wife. You're like, of course, Habibati, not a problem. And he signs it with stamp, he makes sure it's affirmed. After 1 year, he's already convincing her of a third wife, not a second, because he already got the second. So don't trust guys when it comes to contract. Sorry, guys. ها؟ لا مش يبطل الزواج نطلقهم لا لكن الشرط النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال المسلمون عند شروطهم. You should fulfill the condition as long as it doesn't forbid the halal or allowed the haram. قال جابر يا رسول الله, I want to sell, when he sold his camel to the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, sell me your camel. He said, take it. He said, no, sell it to me. He said, I will give you my camel, but look what Jabir said. He said, but I would ride it to Medina. Say, مثلا, you're coming from Woodland, okay? You sell your car there. You tell the person you sell your car to, I'm going to sell you my car, but you have to give me a ride to Davis. And he agrees. He must fulfill the condition. He cannot come and say, where is that in the Quran? The Muslim is upon his condition. You made it a condition, then you have to accept. Yes. Is what? لا, it's not halal. Marrying a multiple wife is what? Huh? Oh yeah, this side is going to say halal, wajib. Okay, the people on camera, this is my right side. The brothers are on my right side. So they're saying it's wajib. It's only permissible. It's permissible. So she's not making something haram upon you. She's putting a condition that you won't do something which is permissible. It's not like you have to marry a second wife and she's saying, no, you shouldn't. That would be the case. Like permissible, لا يدخل في هذا. Ah, man. We need to get your name down. Yeah. أحيانا الشر, when you get into marriage stuff, the kids like brothers, mashallah. Anyway, let's move on, inshallah. طيب. Last, yes, no. Now it doesn't nullify the contract. It doesn't nullify the contract now, but it creates a problem now. He has to fulfill the condition. So if he tells his wife, now I want to marry a second wife, and she gives him permission to do so, or if she says, I no longer want the $100 that you promised my dad to give me every month, khalas, that's up to her. So she has the right clearly to accept or to deny. It's her thing. Okay? What if you do what? Ask Shaykh Ahmed after Salah, inshallah. Between you and Shaykh Ahmed. Get his name. This kid is dangerous. He's already thinking of a second before the first. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. طيب 43 تستعمل القرعة عند المبهم من الحقوق أو لدى التزاحم. Now القرعة, we could say lottery, we could say drawing straws, is used when classification and preference fails. This is another interesting thing in Islam. طبعا, let me tell you, I'm sorry to say that. The Ahnaf, I love that from them this time. Okay, they restrict this one the most. The Hanabila, mashallah, they open it up. So you guys are, we're in the middle. Hanabila, they use the Al-Qur'a as they open up the Qa'id. But Ahnaf are very strict on use. Drawing the straws means what? Actually, in the Quran, remembering the story of Yunus, إذ أبق إلى الفلك المشحون فساهم فكان من المدحضين. What happened? And Rasulullah ﷺ used to do that. Remember, he would write his wife's name, and he wants to travel, مثلا, and there's preference now. He has 9 wives. Who's going to travel with him? A problem. So he writes their name and then he picks one. The one that comes up, then he will travel with her. So we are allowed to do that. And there's so many hadith in Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that if people knew the reward of the first raw in salah, this is for men. For sisters, their last lines is better than their first, by the way. In Nisa, yes, their lines in the back are better than the front. For men, the front rows are better than the back. Because if you think about it, when they're praying, okay, the women would be praying closer to the men. So Rasulullah said that the farther they are, they're farther in lines, the better for them. There was a lot of reason. So they don't come closer, not the first rows. Okay. Now for men, it's the opposite, coming closer in the first row. He said, if people knew the reward, they would have done what? Lottery. They would withdraw the lottery. Now we could use this, not in our masjid, but let's say, مثلا, 2 people, mashallah, perfect in adhan. They both make good adhan, good pronunciation. They both come here and they want to make adhan. We don't have a preference. Who do we choose? What can we do? Lottery. We could use the lottery between them. So lottery is permissible to do in things that are rock paper scissors. You could do it. You can. Allah musta'an. Wallahi, that's new fiqh. You could. Shaykh Ammar is writing a new book in fiqh, inshallah. He'll add those things because old fuqaha, khalas, they used to do lottery with those straws and they write names. Now, bismillah, rock, paper, scissors. We're done. We'll get it done. So the 2 mu'adhin are making. Can you imagine the situation? Or if a person, this is another ruling. If a person is married more than one, this is for you, okay? And he divorced and he doesn't know which of the 4 wives does he divorce. They use lottery. The Hanabila are very flexible. They use lottery in a sense of, if he doesn't really know. So most of the time he knows, but or he divorced the one he doesn't like. حد يجيب لي مناديل الله يرحمه. It does apply. The better, لكن the hadith is referring to if you're praying in places where there are same room, same men. It's better to be farther from the هات هذا has something in it. Fix. Does Vicks break your wudu? You need to do rock, paper, scissors on that one. I like that. Wallah, I like that. Instead of lottery. Okay, anyway. قال وإن تساوى. طيب, let's move on quickly because we want to finish إن شاء الله. وإن تساوى العملان اجتمعا وفعل أحدهما فاستمع. He said if the 2 actions, if there's similar actions, okay, they collide, then you could do both of them with one intention. That's easy. إذا اجتمع العملان يعني مثلا وضوء. Okay. If I want to renew my wudu and I also want to do wudu for salah, I could combine the intention. If the action could be combined, مثلا if you come into the masjid and you want to pray 2 rak'ah before you sit down, there's no tahiyatul masjid. Okay, there's no such a thing as tahiyatul masjid. It is just 2 rak'ah. Rasulullah said, do not sit till you pray 2 rak'ah. So any 2 rak'ah. So you come in, there's 5 minutes for dhuhr salah. You want to pray the sunnah of dhuhr. How many rak'ah is that? 2. So in your heart, you should have the intention that you're doing what? The tahiyatul masjid that you call, we call it tahiyatul masjid, and also the 2 rak'ah of sunnah of dhuhr. So you combine both action in one because they're able to combine. Just make sure that the action are in combination. Okay. طبعا بشرط the ulama would condition that the action has to be from the same category and they have to be in anyway the same time. But this is very important because النية, the ulama, they used to combine their intention in one action. They could gather a lot of intention in one action. And instead of doing one thing, getting one reward, You could do one thing and get multiple reward. How? Adding on more intention. Okay? مثلا, why are you coming to the masjid? Bismillah. To pray. So you got reward of salah. One. That's it. You go home. Khalas done. La. Add on more intention. Listen to a lecture. 2. I'tikaf. Okay. 3. Meeting other brothers and seeing them and giving them salam. 4. Reciting Quran and being a gathering. Peace of mind. ماشي. You pray the sunnah مش عارف ايه. So many. Yeah. Instead of thinking of one thing, combine things together. Yes. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam here he specified that you finish Ramadan, you're not done with Ramadan. Okay. So if the action, مثلا, if Arafah comes on, طبعا the action has to be مثلا عقيقة and udhiyah cannot combine. Okay. You slaughter for your child who's born. And also you slaughter for udhiyah, because each one of them is an act of worship by itself that stands and has conditions. So you cannot combine based upon the majority or almost all the ulama. So when the action is combined or possible, مثلا the day of Arafah happens to be on a Thursday. So what are we going to do now? We're going to fast Arafah, the day of Thursday. Okay, it's being one of the 9 days of the Hijjah also. All right. I'm fasting one day for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yani we could add more things into it. So he's saying here, when the actions are equal or they come together, try to combine them under one action by doing what? Multiple intention, if it's possible to do so. Intention is the business of the scholars. طيب. We only have few, alhamdulillah. وكل مشغول فلا يشغل مثاله المرهون والمسبب. طيب. Anything, and he said the one who's engaged in any contract should not be engaged in any other contract. For example, endowment or security. Endowment means what? If you set a house for endowment, okay, then you cannot use this house for other than endowment. مثلا, I want to give you $1,000 and you'll pay me that $1,000 after a week, but you have to keep your phone with me till you pay me, okay? Or you're going to say, I will give you my phone if I can't pay. You cannot go to somebody else and say, can I get $500 from you and I'll give you my phone if I can't pay? Can I get $100 from you and I'll give you my phone? خلاص, your phone is already what? It's busy with something. It's engaged in something. So don't get it into other engagement than it is. في الأشياء طبعا اللي لا تقبل الإيه. يعني مثلا someone he rents his apartment to someone. Can they rent it to somebody else? طبعا هذا scamming, that's a different thing, but they can't do that because when he rented with that contract, so a person who has an endowment, the endowment cannot be gifted, it cannot be sold. That's a different thing. طيب. So a lot of actions does not accept other actions to come in with it, to be engaged in it. مثلا in the month of Ramadan, they call that al-wajib al-mudayyak, the wajib that is restricted. Ramadan, fasting the day of Ramadan. You could only fast what? Only the day of Ramadan. طيب, can I fast Monday and Thursday? No, you can't. Can I make up one day that I missed from the other Ramadan last year? No. Can I fast the 3 days of every month during Ramadan? No. Can I fast one day nadr that I made a vow for? No. Because Ramadan is what? You already engaged yourself into the ibadah that does not accept any other ibadah. But salah, you could engage other in salah. You could pray the sunnah of Tahiyyat al-Masjid. You could pray the sunnah of the need. You could pray the sunnah of istighfar. You could pray the sunnah of istikhara. You could pray this in one sunnah. 2 rak'ah, you could all do all these intentions. So you could engage other actions, but يعني مثلا Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he forbade what? Even in marriage, he forbade what? Mr. Bismillah. Engagement. You cannot engage over your brother's engagement. That's haram. If someone goes to the house of that person and he asks for her hand and they said inshallah, so they are engaged. You cannot come and engage over your brother's engagement. لا يخطب على خطبة أخيه. ها؟ كيف؟ Oh, yeah, if he didn't know that she was engaged, of course. But if he goes and they say, well, she's engaged, but he said, well, I'm better than him, I have a better job. Yeah, if he didn't know, no problem. But if he knew and he goes in and he causes problem with engagement, هذا يحرم عليه. لا يخطبن ولا يبيع على بيع أخيه. Okay, you already made a transaction. I gave you my phone. You give me $1,000. How's he gonna come and pick it up? Somebody else comes and says he only gave you 1,000. I'll give you 2 for it. That's haram. You cannot sell over the sale of your brother because you both agreed. Okay, so you cannot engage and you cannot sell over that selling because there is already engagement in it. طيب. The last two, inshallah. وَمَنْ يُؤَدِّي عَنْ أَخِيهِ وَاجِبًا لَهُ الرُّجُوعُ إِنَّ وَيُطَلَبُ. He said a person who pays or whoever fulfills an obligation on behalf of his brother or his sister, for him is a return if he intends seeking it. Yani if someone paid a debt for a brother, intending to get it back in the future, then the person must pay it back. Yani مثلا, you know that مثلا, your friend owes someone $1,000. You go and you give him $1,000 on his behalf with an intention that you're gonna get it from him. خلاص? That person has to pay you. He cannot come and say, I didn't tell you to pay him. You understand that? So any person who doesn't, but what if somebody fulfilled an obligation without an intention? طبعا, first obligation has to be what? You're permissible to make. يعني مثلا somebody said, you guys are going for Umrah, inshallah. Inshallah. I don't know how many of you are going, but inshallah. They say, pray for me, inshallah, in Mecca, or pray means salah, like salah for her. You have to pray for yourself. You have to do your own salah. But can you perform umrah on someone on behalf? Yes. Okay. But can you fast on behalf of someone? Can you do not fasting of Ramadan? Yeah, because you're only able to fast Ramadan. Like you fast on behalf of a person if he didn't fast other than Ramadan. Can you do Hajj on behalf of someone? Yes. So we have to make sure that there is wajibat, there is obligation that if you're able to fulfill, then you have the right to return back if you have the intention of what. But if you say to this person, take here is $1,000, this pays for the debt of this person, I don't intend to get it, but khalas, it's for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a sadaqah or something. And after a year or two, this person comes and says, you know what, I went back, I won my money back. That's the problem. Okay, that's where the ulama differ. Should he get his money back or shouldn't he get it? قال ومن no. Yes.
Are there any special cases in which what we treat as collateral can be actually
As what?
The collateral.
Collateral. What we were talking about is you're talking about something that's you treat as collateral. Like if I give you my phone, right? If I give you my phone, I can no longer use my phone. Something that I give you as collateral. Something that I'm giving to you.
You could use it. You could use it.
So there are other special cases. Can there be special cases in which you're using as the phone, the phone, could it be used as collateral in other instances?
Your car, your house, your...
What's being used as endowment?
Endowment is something different. Endowment is something that you set for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to generate income fi sabilillah. You cannot sell, you cannot gift, you cannot... Like the masjid is an endowment. We made these houses that we bought are as an endowment. So no one could come and say, well, now I want to gift it to my son as a gift, or to my uncle, or to somebody, or I want to sell it and open a store. You can't do that. That's an endowment. Waqf is an endowment that is set, generates for the sake of Allah, that you have no right to gift or to sell. That's a different story. قال ومن يؤدي عن أخيه واجبا له الرجوع. طيب. والوازع الطبيعي عن العصيان كالوازع الشرعي بلا نكران. This is the last line. Alhamdulillah. So he said that the natural rejection in the heart to a sin or wrong action is without any denial, like the legislative rejection. Meaning what? What you don't like. يعني, okay. I don't want to give you that example because I don't want to end it with a nasty example. Urination, for example. Nobody. Is it haram to drink urination? See, everybody's like, that's what I mean. When you yourself aslan rejects it, so there is no need to say that it's haram. Understand? Things الوزع الطبيعي عن العصيان, that the natural rejection in the heart that your soul, your nafs does not accept to a sin or to the wrong action, it is the same like the legislative, even though it might not be mentioned. Okay, why? لأنه النفس نفسها لا تقبل. We don't accept it as a person. That's why Allah, even some scholars, they speak about the urine of the animals, that you could eat its meat, even though this urine is what? Pure. Okay, even someone will speak about the permissibility of it or not. Some insect that you might not like to eat. Anyway. طيب. إلا لحاجة طبعا والحمد لله على طبعا we need more detail on this part إن شاء الله. والحمد لله على التمام في البدء والختام والدوام, and praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the beginning and at the end as always. ثم الصلاة والسلام ثم الصلاة مع سلام شائع على النبي وصحبه والتابع, and then salah and salam upon the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam at the end. Alhamdulillah, we completed the book of Qawa'id. So we have Shaykh Walid, he recorded a few minutes of reminder. I hope inshallah you'll stay, listen to it, and Shaykh Ahmed will translate it for you inshallah. And then we will pass on the certificate. And I believe we had refreshment. Allahu A'lam. The condition of that is not, they never made it as a condition. You know, Aisha radiallahu anha, she wanted to free Barira, her servant. And her owner, her previous owner, they said, no, we will inherit her. We will get her inheritance, even though the one freeing her was Aisha. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ما بال أقوام يشترطون شروطا ليست في كتاب الله. Why do people make conditions that are not in the book of Allah? This is the part that is very important. When you make a condition, okay, you have to know, you have to be up to the condition. So if you make a condition upon yourself that you will do something, especially a condition that you make between you and Allah, okay? And that's why we have it reached to the level of nadhr, that a person makes it as if it's a condition upon himself. Ya Allah, if I pass my class, I will do this. وَالنَّذْرُ لَا يَأْتِي بِخَيْرٍ. It doesn't bring you goodness. But if you make a condition between you and someone, and you both agree to it, you must fulfill that condition, because Muslims are upon their conditions. As long as the condition what? No halal involved, no haram. مثلا you say, okay, if you invite me to your house, I'll drink with you. That's not a condition. Rasulullah said, why do people make conditions that are not in the book of Allah? Wallahi, if you make that 100 of those conditions, يعني if you make this condition 100 times, and you say, Wallahi, I will do it. In the hadith of Barira, Rasulullah he told Aisha, said, you know what, just buy her and then free her, then we'll talk. So he, in the narration, he said, agree to what they say. Just that she could buy her from her master. She was a slave, you know. The ruling is a person who frees a slave, they inherit from them. That was the ruling. So the family that has Barira, who owned Barira at that time, she said, how much should I pay you to free me, for me to be free? They said, let's say 100,000. Okay? So she went to Aisha. She said, can you help me out? So Aisha said, why? I will buy you and free you. That's even better. Yani you'll be completely free for the sake of Allah. Now the first family, they said, hold on. Al-wala'u lana. Her loyalty is to us, meaning if she dies, we will what? Inherit her. Rasulullah says that the person who inherits is the one who frees. So if they free her, they inherit, but they didn't free. It's Aisha. So Rasulullah said, if this is their condition, just agree to them. Till you buy her, and then we'll talk. So when she bought Barira and she freed her, Rasulullah, he stood at the minbar and he said, why do people invent conditions that are not in the book of Allah, and they're against the legislation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? If you make a condition upon yourself, even 100 times, it is not accepted. Yani, you don't have to fulfill it. So if you buy a car from someone and he says, I will sell you my car with one condition. what? There's a box of whatever. I forgot what's the famous brand of alcohol called. Don't, we don't want to advertise. I don't care what it's called. There's a box of wine in the car. Okay, I will sell you my car, and the condition is that you drop it off at LA and you give it to someone. Now, transferring wine from a place to another is haram. Tamam? Let's say the person agrees to the conditions just to get the car, because if he says no, and does he have to fulfill it? No, he doesn't. And there's nothing upon him. Why? Because that condition what? Allows or makes the haram halal, permissible. Is that clear now? Okay, so understand these rules, because these rules will help you out, inshallah. Inshallah, our next, when we come back, inshallah, during, I don't know what you guys call the next semester. What is it, fall? Inshallah, when we come back, we might keep the same classes at the same timing or change dates, depend on the your schedule. But we want to choose a book during the summer to study a different subject. Alhamdulillah, we finish Aqidah, Usul, and Qawa'id. No, khalas, we'll stop for the summer, inshallah. Classes will give you guys a break from listening to the boring Shaykh. And that will, it's boring. Everybody's not here in the summer. Okay, how many of you are here in the summer? Now, subhanallah. When I cancel the class, oh, Allah, I thought everybody was out. Then we will do just a small book, maybe during the summer on Thursdays only. Then we keep it shorter, and Thursday only one day, so everybody's able to make it, inshallah. Then on Tuesday, I already have a class before Maghrib, and mostly I'll be traveling, but Friday and Saturday. So I think Thursday would work better, if that's okay with everybody, if you're gonna be here, inshallah, during the summer. So we're gonna stop, inshallah. Give me a second. We're gonna start Sheikh Walid's talk. He recorded because it's like 12 o'clock now. So, and Shaykh Ahmed, inshallah, will translate it and maybe a few words, inshallah, and then we have the certificates. So do you want to, bismillah, let's just set it up, inshallah, now.